Hello everybody, this is a quick shout out to an awesome charity event that's taking place at the end of February. The Mythos Busters team are hosting a charity stream on February the 27th, and they will be raising money for Doctors Without Borders or Médecins Sans Frontières. So it's going to be an awesome day, and it's really awesome to be able to support such a fantastic charity. Go to the Mythos Busters website, mythosbusters.com, check out more of the details, and I look forward to hearing from you on the day. Thank you, and see you soon. Hello everybody, and welcome to the channel Out of Ammo Out of Time. I'm your host, as always, Krabby Terror 8, and here we are in episode 24 of season 2 of the Investigator games, with everybody's favourite sorcerer and smoky voiced nightclubs performer, Marie Lambeau, the entertainer. Yes, and for those of you who are new to the channel, welcome. Yes, what is the Investigator games? I hear you scream and cry and plead. Well, it's like the Hunger Games. We take each investigator, true solo, through a scenario. Now in season 1, that was The Gathering, and there are 40 odd episodes there. All the investigators have been through season 1. And then we are in the middle of season 2, and based on their performance, they end up in a league table like this one. Yes, and we can see that there is quite a range of results. Now, these scores are based on the carryover from The Gathering, and if you haven't seen the Investigator games in The Gathering, I would recommend that maybe you see those first. Perhaps maybe at least Marie first in The Gathering before she continues here in the Midnight Masks. But you can see quite a range of results. But yes, Leo is topping the table at the moment, and Roland as well is doing very well, as is Ashcam Pete. So all the way down to poor old Calvin. So yes, quite a range of results. Nothing to do with my ability to play the game, of course. It's all up to the investigators themselves and how they do on the day. It's a bit like a sport in that way. So there you go. So yes, here we are with Marie Lambeau. Interesting mystic. Now, in the original Gathering, I go through her deck, and everybody starts with their official Fantasy Flight Games starter decks. That's part of the rules. I went through that there, so I won't go through that in so much detail today. If you want to get more of an idea of all the cards and how they all work, I would recommend you watch that. But what we'll have a look at here is just her general stats and abilities. Helps me as much as anyone else, because I sometimes forget there's so many of these investigators now, more than 40 of them. And then we'll have a look at how I've changed her deck with the measly victory points she had from the Gathering. She only had 4. So first of all, she is a mystic, so not surprisingly, her willpower is relatively high, and also her intellect is relatively high. So that tells you a couple of things. First of all, she's going to be pretty good with spells, but also pretty good at investigating and parleying, that kind of thing. And even her vitality is pretty good, actually, pretty strong at 3. Where she really falls down is with only a strength of 1. So she's one of those investigators with reasonably high stats, except in one of them, which is very low. For Marie, though, that's not such a problem, of course, because she can use things like Shriveling or Azure Flame, other sorts of offensive spells to offset the fact that she can't fight. Of course, it's less efficient in a way because you've got to get the spells, you've got to get it out, and then it only lasts so long, but it means that she can compensate in that way. So pretty good. Now, on top of that, her ability is pretty good from an action compression perspective. So while you have one or more doom among cards you control, you may take an additional action during your turn, which can only be used to play spell cards or activate spell abilities. So unfortunately, which would be good for the Midnight Mask, but unfortunately she can't use those abilities to move around and things like she can't use it for that. However, it will still lead to some action compression, and as we know in the Midnight Masks, being able to do things efficiently and getting extra actions is at a premium in this scenario, indeed. Now, her Elder Sign effect is just a nice +1, but you may add 1 doom or remove 1 doom from a card you control. So that's about just managing that doom, because obviously, and in the Midnight Masks, that's no exception here, you don't want the doom to run away with you in that way. So yes, so there you go. Now, in terms of what I've done with her deck, we didn't have very much to play with, unfortunately, because she didn't do terrifically well in the gathering. So she only had 4 experience. So what I decided to do, I mean, she started with her starter deck, so official starter deck. So we really had to kind of work around that. So what I decided to do was really lean into the doom. So I've got 2 David Renfields in there, because of course he allows you to if you have doom on him, and you can place a doom on him and gain a resource. So that is handy to be able to do that. We've just got to be careful about how that plays out in the Midnight Mask, because it can run away with you very quickly anyway. So yeah, so we added 2 David Renfields. We added an Arcane Initiate as well. So there are 2 of those as well for the same reasons. You know, the Arcane Initiate, you put a doom on the Arcane Initiate, and then you can search your deck for spell cards. So again, it's another way of getting some doom down, which helps Marie Lambeau do some extra damage. And then we added a Shriveling, of course, because there was only 1 Shriveling in her starter deck. So what we've done is we've added another Shriveling, so that hopefully she has some way of dealing with the Masked Hunter, because without the Masked Hunter, things are going to be a little bit difficult. Okay, so I think that's all. I don't know. Oh, Chronophobia is her weakness that she drew in the first season of The Gathering. Don't know what you think about that. I took out Flashlight and Eldritch Inspiration. I didn't think they were so useful. So we will see how she goes with it. It's a very eclectic deck, all kinds of things in there. It's a real grab bag in that way. Yes, so I think that's... I spoke to Marie, of course, in the trailer. Thank you again, Miskatonic Trailer Hire. She's over at the house as we speak. Now, just a point about the house. People sometimes mention that if you have Leader Chandler, for example, and we don't, then why is the house out? It's just to standardize the results for everybody, so everybody gets equal treatment in this season. That's what the investigators agreed to. They have a union, you see, and union of Arkham Horror Living Card Game Investigators, represented by Roland, who's quite a tough customer when it comes to negotiation. So yes, one of the things that I agreed to was that we would leave the house out for season 2. That even if you did gain later, so that was generally agreed upon, so that's fine. Thank you. Also, call out to Arkham City Council for allowing us to use their locations. We have to start pretty early in the morning, but it does mean we get free reign of the city until about 10, 11 o'clock in the morning, which time we need to be done. Marie Lambeau, I'm a big Sarah Vaughan fan, and I think I might have said in The Gathering, so Marie Lambeau, real treat to hear her sing a couple of Sarah Vaughan numbers. She's really quite a gifted entertainer indeed. She is very unhappy with how she did in the first season. She's hoping to do better this time. And we'll see how she goes. Yes, indeed. So before we start, let's just read out the agenda and act deck just to set things going. Lita seems convinced of a conspiracy within the city of Arkham. She believes that a secret cult serves the ghouls that live in the crypts beneath the city, and that several of the cult's prominent members are scattered throughout Arkham. As you begin searching for them, you can't shake the feeling that you too are being hunted. We can resign. Don't want to risk taking too long. And then we have the act uncovering the conspiracy. You have one night to find members of this cult and unveil their plan. Well, that's actually not quite true. You've got half a night, really, because you've got till midnight, haven't you? So it's really you have half a night to find members of this cult and unveil their plan. The more members of the cult you can find and interrogate before midnight, the better. Investigators can spend 2 clues as a group to draw the top card of the cultist deck, and the objective is to find as many unique enemies as you can. Interesting that I've never beaten the Midnight Masks. I didn't realise, and I never read the back of Act 1 until the other day. Can you believe it? Quite a wealth of information on the back, which is a little bit of a pity that it's kept on the back of the act rather than sort of fed to you as you go through and unmask these cultists. But anyway. Now, the other thing is I have been writing an in-depth analysis of the Midnight Masks. I'll have that done in the next couple of weeks. And so I've been thinking a lot about this scenario. And one thing I realized, which I'm going to try out today, I don't know how it'll go, is I realise I never do this, and I don't know why I don't. But of course, the house at Rivertown and Graveyard is a nexus of relatively low shroud values. So actually, moving house, Rivertown, and the Graveyard in your first couple of goes makes sense because you can gather up quite a few clues, you can get yourself a victory point, and you can get a cultist out, rather than leaving what I have done in the past, a Graveyard, to the end, which is not great, particularly if you've got hunting enemies on you because it's a dead end. So, and the other thing is North Side is also pretty critical because, as many of you would know, and spoilers, if you are new to the Midnight Masks, sorry, I should have said this before, I do apologise, but there was a spoiler warning at the beginning. Please go and play it in real life. I'm assuming you know this scenario at least a little bit. I recognise people come to check out the investigators and how they go, but this isn't a kind of a how to play the Midnight Masks for the first time. I'm assuming you know that. Or if you're brand new to Arkham Horror, the living card game, please go and play it first. Or check out introductory videos on how to play. I'm assuming you know how to play a little bit. So the other one is Northside, because not only can you pick up 2 clues and get a victory point, you can also buy 2 clues as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try this new strategy with Marie, where we do this nexus first, and then once we've done that and sort of cleaned up the cultists, but then probably wait for the Masked Hunter by then we get up to Northside and do that and get more out and see if that sort of works in that way. But, you know, I recognise the Midnight Mask is very good at throwing things off course. So anyway, enough about all of that. Let's play the Midnight Masks with Marie Lambeau. Okay, so what do we want? What do we want? What do we want? Well, I think the important thing is that we want a shriveling, because without shriveling, there will be no taking on the Masked Hunter. Nothing like that. So we definitely want a shriveling. What else do we want? We want one of our allies. We've invested in them. So Arcane Initiate or David Redfield. Obviously not both, because we can only put one out. But one of those would also be handy to give us that extra action. Apart from that, there's some other pretty good cards in there. Obviously, things like Drawn to the Flame would be great, because it's a great way of picking up clues really fast. Holy Rosary is also really, really good, because, of course, it gives us an extra boost to our willpower. So I think those things make sense. So anyway, let's see. Let's shuffle up and see what we get. Let's draw our 5. Yeah. Oops, not 4, 5. And let's see what we get. Okay, so first of all, we get our weakness, so that's out. That is the weakness, isn't it? Yeah, Baron 70. We didn't get any of the things that we wanted. Deny existence is pretty good, actually. Yeah. That's a good card, Unexpected Courage, but I don't need two of them. So what I'm going to do is, I know I like Ward of Protection, but I'm going to throw it in right now because we've got Deny Existence anyway, and I'm going to draw 3 more cards. Let's draw one. First one, Able-Bodied. Okay. Second one, there's a Shriveling. I'm so glad I did that. Third one, Chronophobia. No, we can't use that. So let's draw again, and we get Guts. Okay. So unfortunately, no allies. So immediately, it's whether we go, I don't know what's under here. It's random. Could be the Hysterical Society. Could be Mars Boarding House. Yeah, so that's a little bit unfortunate because, yeah, that's one of the things. Having said that, if we don't get an ally out till a bit later, that's probably fine because we just have to be careful about managing Doom anyway. So we're just going to have to... We're just going to have to deal with the way things are as they are. So anyway, so we've got 3 actions. Here we are at the house. Obviously, there's 1 clue there. So what are we going to do? First action, I'm going to obviously spend 3 and bring out Shriveling. Get that out on the table. So that's a good start. I don't think we can do anything with these. These are all... yeah, this is good. 1 or fewer item assets. Don't have any item assets, so... Okay, so that's our first action. Our second action, indeed, I am going to take Hello? I'm going to take advantage of this thing, draw a card and gain a resource. So we'll draw a card and we get another Shriveling, gain a resource. Okay, we've got another Shriveling, so that's good to have if we need it later. And then third action, we'll just go ahead and investigate. So it's a 2... and we are a 4, so let's just go straight up and do 2 versus a 4. Chaos Bag gives us a -2, so we succeed. There we go. There we go. So, great, pretty good start, really. We got our Shriveling out, which is good. We didn't get an ally, but got our Shriveling out. We then drew a card and got a resource, and then we successfully got the clue. So what we'll do is we'll pop up to Rivertown, and get the second clue next time, and then I think then we pop into the graveyard and try and get those 2 clues victory points, and then we've got ourselves 4 clues. Okay, so that's all a reasonable start. Let's move into the... oh, that was the investigation phase. Let's move into the enemy phase. There are no enemies to speak of, obviously, yet. Upkeep, we get Drawn to the Flame, so there you go. We can use that to bag ourselves a couple of quick clues, so that's really, really good. Yes, awesome. Okay, let's move into the Mythos phase. The first Doom is down. Let's see what the lovely encounter deck has. And the lovely encounter deck has Obscuring Fog attached to your location. All right, well, that's good, because that doesn't do anything. I'm glad we got that clue. So there we go. That's good. That's a bit of a free pass there, really, isn't it? So good start. Okay, so all right, let's move into our second phase. 3 actions on to Marie. Still no allies, but that's all right. We'll just keep forging ahead. So we will move up to Rivertown. That's our first action. There's a clue on here. We will investigate Rivertown, just straight up, because we've got a 4 intellect. Very handy, that 4 intellect. So what are we looking at? A 1 versus a 4. Chaos Bag gives us an Elder Sign. So we succeed. And you may add 1 Doom or remove 1 Doom from a card you control. So we could do that. We could add 1 or more Doom, used to play spell cards or activate spell abilities. Now, at the moment, that wouldn't make sense because we've only got 1 spell card. If we were fighting, that would be brilliant, but we're not. So it doesn't make sense to add more doom at the moment. So I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do instead is I'm going to spend another action to spend the 2 clues and bring out our first cultist. Shuffle them up, and who do we get? We get Herman Collins. Well, there you go. That's great. So okay, fantastic. Wow, that means we can get our first cultist very quickly. And we can next time we can move to the graveyard, get Herman Collins, and then we can get the next 2 clues, and so get another cultist out. I don't think I'll use Drawn to the Flame, though. I think I'll keep Drawn to the Flame for Northside or Miskatonic, you know, one of the higher shroud ones that are a bit more difficult, because Graveyard's only a 1 shroud, so it would feel like a bit of a waste to use Drawn to the Flame on a low shroud location. Okay, so a pretty good second go. We got ourselves to Rivertown. We investigated Rivertown. We then we brought out Herman Collins. Now, it is optional, isn't it, that you may, yes. No, I don't think that's a good idea at the moment, because I mean, by the time the Mars Hunter comes out, but we're really just adding doom when we just don't need to. Okay. If I had something like Scrying or something like that, I would absolutely do it, because then with something like Scrying, it gives you a free scry, you know, for a few turns. That would be worth doing, but not when we're just shriveling. Okay, enemy phase. Well, there is an enemy, but he's just hanging around in the graveyard. La-da-da. So I've never read the thing. The Undertaker in the local graveyard has been digging strange tunnels underneath the mausoleum. But for what purpose? There we go. I don't read enough of the text on these cards, which is kind of unfortunate, because there's some really good stuff on some of these. Anyway, so let's move into the upkeep phase, and we get Act of Desperation. Okay, discard an item asset that takes up at least 1 hand spot from your hand. Okay, which we don't have. Yeah, so some of these are legacy cards from the starter deck. I mean, it's got double fight, but with shriveling, we're not really going to use it. But who knows? We might get a locked door that we want to get rid of, so you never know. Okay, that's the end of the upkeep phase, so I guess it's time for another Mythos phase. 2 Doom down. We're a third of the way through, but we've got a cultist out, so it's a good start, fast start. Let's see what the encounter deck has. And yes, it's got an Acolyte. Okay, we've got to put this on an empty location. So we can't put it on the graveyard. We can't put it on Rivertown. We could put it on Miskatonic University. Yeah, somewhere like that. Or we could put it south side, because see, I want to get into the graveyard and get Herman. Or the other thing is to put it here, go and deal with the Acolyte. Yeah. Although I really want to get those more clues first. It's not... that's a real pain. Look, I'm going to put him there. I'm not going to deal with him at the moment. I will deal with him, but not right at the moment. But yeah, we will stick him here, and we will go and do what we were going to do. It's better, you know, it's easy to get distracted and move on. Who knows, we could go and get the Acolyte, and then we find we get some other thing, and before we know it, Herman Collins hasn't been dealt with. And, you know, it's all about getting victory points. So there is actually 2 victory points in the offering here. The graveyard itself, and obviously Herman Collins. Okay, so that's the Mythos phase. So we move into the investigation phase. 3 actions on to Marie. Of course, if I had put a Doom onto Shriveling, we could have moved and used Shriveling for a free action, actually. I come to think of it, but anyway, we're not going to do that. So first action, I'm going to move into the graveyard. So Herman comes and says hello. Now, when we move into the graveyard, we must test 3. If you fail, you must take 2 horror. Now, we're a 4. Let's put in guts because we get a draw. So that gives us a 6. A 6 versus a 3. Chaos Bag gives us a... so we succeed, but we still place a doom on the nearest cultist enemy. That's fine. So we succeed, so we draw a card, and we get scrying. Okay, good. Good card. Okay, all right. So that was our first action to move. Second action, we will discard 4 cards. Which cards? Well, I don't think we need active desperation. That's probably 1. See, I don't want to get rid of this because this gives us 3 evasion, which we might need for Ruth Turner. Maybe scrying does go 2. Oh dear, this is hard, isn't it? 3. Boy. Is it better to get 3 of those or unexpected courage? I want to keep drawn to the flame. So it's really coming down to unexpected courage or this. I think we're going to keep unexpected courage because it's more flexible. Okay, there's the 4. So Herman Collins is parleyed. Yep. And so he goes into the victory display, and the crowd goes wild. There we go. Fantastic. We've got 1 action left. Final action, we will investigate 1 versus 4. Chaos Bag gives us a -1, so we get the clue. Okay, cool. All right, so that went according to plan. And we lost a few good cards, but it was worth it to get Herman Collins. So we moved. We then parleyed with Herman Collins, and we got a clue. So we can get the next clue next time and bring out the next cultist. And we're still only in turn 2. Well, technically turn 3. So we've got to deal with this acolyte. That's the other thing that we need to do. Okay, so we move into the enemy phase. Nothing happens. We move into upkeep. Get another able-bodied, so there you go. Fine. Yeah. Okay. So we move into the Mythos phase, and here we go. Let's see what the good old encounter deck has, and oh boy, okay. Things are going a little bit haywire because we get a good old hunting nugget. Oh, I hate these guys. I hate these guys because either we spend 2 actions. It's a real challenge here. Do we spend the 2 actions to try and kill this thing, or do we just try and evade it and hope that the negative multiplier isn't too bad? Boy. Okay. Let's move into the investigation phase. 3 actions on to Marie. Well, I actually do want to evade because I want to get this clue. So he's a 1 and we are a 3. So it's whether we risk... Because if he gets a -1, it's fine. But if he gets a -2... Now, if we threw in unexpected courage, that would get us up... Oh, hold on. No, we've got this, haven't we? Able-bodied as well. So if we threw in able-bodied, that would give us a 6, wouldn't it? Yes, a 6 versus a 1. So we're almost assured of evading him because a -3 wouldn't work, but a -2 would, whereas just 2 would give us a 5. Now, that would be fine as well, wouldn't it? Because if we threw in unexpected courage, we would be a 5. If he got a -2, that would make him 5. So actually, that would be a waste of this because if he gets a -3, he's a 7. We're only a 6. There's no point using this. We might as well use unexpected courage. See how we go. Chaos Bag gives us a tablet, -3. If you fail, place one of your clues on your location. I'll believe it. That was a really horrible roll, wasn't it? Ah, boy. Okay, well, let's try again. Let's go again. Actually, are we better fighting this guy? Oh, it seems such a waste to fight him, though. No, I'm going to throw an able-bodied. Let's go again. +1, so we succeed. He's evaded. Okay, that was my second action. Now, I could use Drawn to the Flame to draw these two, but I'm now thinking I'm going to move to Rivertown because I can't leave this Acolyte. I'm going to have to leave these in the graveyard. That's really annoying. Super annoying. But I don't want to have to keep dealing with this Night Gaunt. Okay, so that was not what I wanted to happen by any stretch. So, and again, I'm probably paying the price for not having a Doom because I could have used Shriveling as an extra action, as a free action. So I'm actually kind of annoyed now that I didn't do it. But anyway, never mind. You live and you learn. Enemy phase, no enemies to speak of. So we move into Upkeep and I get another Deny Existence. That's good. Yeah, let's see. Now we're halfway through. We've got to get rid of this Acolyte. Let's see what the encounter deck has. And it has, I was just thinking about this. Am I going to get a Hunting Shadow? You must either spend a clue or take 2 damage. Now, we aren't the strongest person at all. Did we take any damage in the first game? Ooh. I'm just going to check. No, I just checked we didn't. So, where were we? So, yeah, so we can take 2 damage. We can deny existence. If you would lose resources, lose actions, take damage, or take horror. So I could use this. I might do that. So I'm going to deny the existence of this. So I'm ignoring taking of damage. Okay, cool. Because a couple of those and I would be in a bit of a state. All right, 3 actions onto Marie. First action, we will move to Miskatonic University. Second action, we will fight the Acolyte. So we will use one of our Shrivelings. So we're now fighting using willpower. So a 4 versus, oh, it's only a 4 versus a 3. Ooh. Okay. Oh, I thought it was better than that. Okay, let's go ahead. Chaos Bag gives us a +1. Yeah, draw a +1 again. Yeah, it didn't change, but it absolutely was a +1. So we defeat the Acolyte. We have 1 action left. Now we could Drawn to the Flame here at Miskatonic University and get the victory point. So let's go ahead and do that. So we will play Drawn to the Flame, but first of all, we've got to draw from the encounter deck. False Lead, if you have no clues. False Lead, Engage Surge. Okay. Because we don't... Okay, draw the top card of the encounter deck first. So this goes first. Okay, Crypt Chill. Oof. Well, we've got another Shriveling, I guess. So it's a 4. Well, there's going to be a 4 versus a 4. Chaos Bag gives us a -2, so we fail. We lose our Shriveling, and we put a Doom on the nearest cultist enemy, of which there are none. Good, and we get the 2 clues. And we get a victory point. Crowd goes wild. I think they're really enjoying this because Marie Lambeau is a bit on the edge, but managing to achieve stuff. So we now have 2 victory points. Unfortunately, we've got no Shriveling, but we've got a backup Shriveling, so all good. So that was quite an interesting bunch of actions there. We moved from Rivertown to Miskatonic University. We shriveled the Acolyte to death, so there's not that Doom is gone. And then we used Drawn to the Flame to get 2 clues and a victory point. So we can bring out the next cultist. We could, but... we probably want to be a little bit careful about that because if it was Peter Warren, we don't have the clues. So I think the best thing is we go up to Northside and maybe buy some more clues or something like that. We'll just have to see. We're a little bit low on cards, unfortunately, because of Herman. So that's probably the biggest problem with Herman Collins early, is you end up with relatively few cards. So let's move into the enemy phase. There is an enemy, so the enemy moves to Rivertown. Hunting Night Gaunt's on our tail, so we need to keep moving. So we move into Upkeep, and we get Prophecy. 3 or more Doom in play. Prophecy gains an extra question mark if there are 6 or more double. So at the moment, it's got 2 question marks on it. Very nice. That's a freaky picture, isn't it? Boy. Okay, so there we go. There's the Upkeep phase. So we move into the Mythos phase. There are now 5 Doom down. So the Masked Hunter will be upon us next time. So we need to put some distance between us and the Hunting Night Gaunt, obviously, because what we don't want to happen is we don't want to get the Masked Hunter and then find, you know, surprise, surprise, that that we then get the Hunting Night Gaunt on us. So we need to put a bit of distance between him and us. Although that's going to be a little tricky. Yeah. Because if we move to downtown, he will move to East Town. If we're only at North Side, he will move there. So it's a little bit tricky, to be honest. I'm not sure how we're going to deal with it, but anyway, we will put some distance between us. We need at least, yeah, at least two locations distant. Okay, yeah. So let's see what the encounter deck has for us. And the encounter has another Acolyte. Okay. Well, we can't. We won't. So, we've got 1 turn, you see. So if we put the Acolyte here or here, we're going to have to deal with him, and I don't want to deal with him at the moment. I'm going to put him here, because we will go back to the graveyard. No, that's not a good idea. Where to put him? See, if we put him here, because we lost Shriveling, we'd have to try and fight him. We could put him in East Town, I suppose. Or do we put him in the graveyard? Oh, I just realised it doesn't actually matter, because the Doom is going to come off. So we just put him anywhere. Let's just stick him down here. Okay. Where is all our allies? We put all these allies in the deck and we didn't get any of them. So annoying. Okay, we move into the... Because now would be a great time to play an ally, because it wouldn't matter. Okay, we move into the investigation phase. Yeah, now would be great, wouldn't it? 3 actions on to Marie. Yeah, I think Marie Lambeau is probably one of those ones where you've really got to kind of really lean into the combo idea of Doom and managing Doom. Unfortunately, I don't think the starter deck allows you to do that particularly effectively. And so I think she's one of those investigators where you've really got to kind of lean into comboing to get, you know, Doom off and on and that kind of thing. And that's not really going to happen. All right, so what I'm going to do is, first action, I'm going to move up to North Side. Second action, I'm going to spend 3 and bring out Shriveling, because we need that for the Masked Hunter. That's the second action. Is there any point moving to downtown? Because I'm just thinking, if we move to downtown, then the Hunting Night Gaunt will move there. If we stay where we are, he'll just move here. Either way, he's going to be 1 away, so we might as well do something else. And probably the best thing to do, I know it's not a good idea to do this on the final action, but we're going to do it anyway, is to draw from the deck, and we get Guts. So that actually was a really good draw, because we're going to need that. Okay, so there's our actions. We're just getting ourselves ready for the Masked Hunter. We basically played our Shriveling. We moved to North Side to put some distance, and then we drew a card and we drew Guts. Okay, so we move into the enemy phase. The Masked Hunter moves again. Not the Masked Hunter. The Hunting Night Gaunt moves again. So we move into upkeep. Now, oh, what a terrible time. Okay. Well, that's all right. We can take some horror. It's not terrible, but it's a pain of a time to get it. All right. So we move into the mythos phase. There we go. All the doom is now done. So we'll get rid of the doom. Get rid of the doom off here. And we will flip the... and there we go. There's the Mars Hunter. Hello, Marie. Look, I've worn my best jacket. Sing us a song, will ya? Oh, boy. Okay. All right. Okay. So there we go. So we will move into investigation phase 3 actions onto Marie. And this is where the horror would have been very helpful, but we don't have it. So what are we going to do? We're going to obviously shrivel this masked hunter. So first action, we'll throw in the guts. So that gives us a 6. A 6 on a 4. A 6 on a 4. Chaos Bag gives us a -2, so we succeed. And we do 2 damage. And we draw a card. David Renfield. Now he comes out. That was our first action. Oh, sorry. There should be another... Oh, it's not here. Well, but yeah, it only goes if it's deleted, so we need to bring out the agenda. Time is running short. We've got 8 actions. Yeah. So, this is only... There are not more 3 or more Doom in play, so actually we're not really in a great position to do any more damage to the Mars Hunter at the moment. So I'm thinking... that we evade, because we're a 3. We can make that a 4. We can make it a 4 on a 2. Let's try and evade him. Chaos Bag. Hello. Gives us a +1, so we succeed. We evade the Mars Hunter. Where have you gone? Where have you gone? I want to hear stormy weather. And final action, we will move to downtown. Oh, here we go. Benny Hilling around the scene. All right. So there we go. Now it's the end of our turn, so we take a direct horror. Unfortunately, we don't really have time to deal with that. All right. So yeah, it was a mixed bag, really. We're really low on cards. Isn't there something that allows you to draw cards? Oh, that's probably the Hysterical Society, isn't it? So what we did was we did 2 damage to the Mars Hunter. We then moved away from Northside and moved to downtown. So they're going to be together. So I think I'm just going to have to Benny Hill them around the place and try and get another cultist. If we can build up our cards, yeah, it might be worthwhile going and seeing a South Side, because it might, and getting a Doom on David Renfield would also be helpful. So then we could take on the Mars Hunter, but not at the moment. Okay. Oh dear. All right, never mind. Move into enemy phase. The Hunting Night Gaunt moves up to Northside. Upkeep. We go from no allies to 2 allies. Great. Thanks, David. Yeah, anyway. So there you go. Yeah, so we move into the Mythos phase. 1 Doom is down. Let's see what the encounter deck has. Wings of Darkness. Actually, this might be helpful. I think it is. So I don't mind if I fail this. So we are a 3 versus a 4. Chaos Bag gives us a -2, so we fail, which means we move to Rivertown, but we take a damage and a horror. But you know what? I'm not too unhappy about that, to be honest. That was actually okay. Yeah, that was actually quite good. Okay, excellent. Great. Okay, let's move into the investigation phase. Oh boy. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to spend my 2... Whoops, I just did the resource then. I'm going to spend the 2 clues. Yep. I'd spend the 2 clues and bring out the next cultist. Let's see who we get. Ah, we get Victoria Devereaux. Okay, well, she's up here as well, at north side. We've got the cash, but unfortunately, we're kind of not in a position to... let's like think, if we can get, how can we get up there? If we stay where we are, these 2 will move down. Then we move to East Town. They move across. Because we don't want to get caught down here. Because we could go... Actually, we could go to South Side. They would move down. And then we're trapped. So I think we stay here. We get them to follow us. If we're here and they're there, 1, 2... Yeah, that's what we do. And we come around and get Victoria Devereaux. That's the best way. I'm going to get rid of this chronophobia. So that's my 3 actions. So there you go. That was just really getting rid of chronophobia. What did we do? We brought out Victoria Devereaux. We then got rid of chronophobia. So yeah, so we're going to have to do this. It's going to waste time, but it's the best way to do it, unfortunately, at the moment. Yeah, maybe a final last stand once we've got David Renfield onto the deck to try and finish off the Ghoul Priest, but we need more cards. That's the thing we're sort of missing. Enemy phase, they both move down. Here to Miskatonic University, leaving Victoria. So we will move into Upkeep and we get the Arcane Initiate. Okay. It's from none to all of them. Yes, okay. To be honest, I'm probably going to use it for a willpower, I think. Anyway. All right. So we move into the Mythos phase. 2 Doom already down. Oh, dear. And we get Mysterious Chanting. Place 2 Doom on the nearest cultist enemy. Oh, no. Oh, no. 1, 2. Oh, boy. Yeah. Oh, that's bad. That is bad, because that brings it up to 4. Oh, boy. Okay. Maybe the deny existence would have been good then, wouldn't it? Anyway, investigation phase, 3 actions onto Marie. So we've got 2 choices here. We could play David Renfield. Yeah, but the problem is we're only a 4 and he's a 4. So we're really doing 4. We don't have enough. We need more willpower boosts. So that's really not an option. So I think what we do is we do move to East Town. I just hope we don't run out of reduce it. Oh, okay. The problem with that is, so we've moved to East Town. The problem with that is yes, we could play David Renfield for free. But that would then mean there would be 2, 4, there would be 5 Doom. Like, it's just not worth it, unfortunately. So that's our first action. I think we go ahead and draw a card. And I think we go ahead and draw another card. Draw again. And we get the knife. Okay. Yeah, all right. Okay, it's not really what we wanted, but anyway, that's what we've got. So with any luck, we will get Victoria Devereaux, and that'll be kind of it, really, the way we're going. We move into the enemy phase. The enemies both move to Rivertown. Yep. We move into Upkeep, and we get another Arcane Initiate. All the allies are now out. Okay. So we move into the Mythos phase. There are now 3. Where is he? Bring to the front. I think there's 5. There's now 5 Doom down. Yeah. Okay, let's see what the encounter deck has for us. And the encounter deck has, oh, I don't believe this, another Acolyte. Another Doom. This is just getting out of control now. So there's now 2, 3, 6. 6 of 8 already. Okay, we are now in the investigation phase. There are 3 actions onto Marie. Things have really spiraled out of control. So we've got a kind of 2 choices here. We can either go and get Victoria Devereaux. Yep, so it'll be 2 moves and a parley. So that we can do that, and we've got another cultist. The other option is we could move to Rivertown. Well, the other option could be we could play, because we can play him for free, we could play David Renfield and put a Doom on him, which would give us then a 5 willpower. Then we could 5 willpower. Then what we could do is we would still have 3, because we would, hold on, we would have played David Renfield. We would have moved, but we would still have 2 actions left because of Marie Lambeau's ability. So we would have 2 actions to do the damage. And we've got with 5, so we could go 6, 7. Yeah, so we could do it, but it would be, or we would do 4, 5, 6, and a 6. So we would do 6 twice with the arcane and shit. And if we kill the Masked Hunter. So we've kind of got a choice here. We can either go safe and go and get Victoria Devereaux, and we get a victory point, and then that's it, because it's 3, 4, 5, 6. So it would flip to 4, 5, 6, 7. So we'd have 1 action left. We could try and get the final clues. So we would end up with 2 victory points that way. Or we go in hard and we try and get the Masked Hunter and do more damage to him that way. And we would actually have an extra. We'd have an extra. Oh, hold on. No, we wouldn't. This guy here. Oh no, he lost his Doom. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we would get another act. We'd not get another round to kill him. David Renfield could take some. Yeah. But the problem is we're doing a 4, we're doing a 5. A 5 versus 4. We could then make that a 6 versus a 4. So we're 2 up. I think we should be okay. Let's do that. I think even though it's a riskier move, I think it's more likely, you know, it's a kind of a, we either go down fighting or not. So let's do that. So first action, I'm going to just play David Renfield. That's our first action. So we put a Doom on him. Okay. All right. No, we won't get the extra turn. I've just realised because David... Well, no, because we can... Can you exhaust every... You may place 1 Doom. No. So we've got 1 action. We've got 1 go to do it. So I'm going for the... Yeah. All right, second action. We will move to Rivertown. really hope this works. This is a very high-risk strategy. You know, you're probably all saying to me, no, 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 go to north side, get Victoria. But, you know, you never know. Okay, now, we have 2 actions left. So the first action, I am going to shrivel the Masked Hunter. So I'm going to shrivel the Masked Hunter. So we are a 5. He's a 4, but I'm going to throw in a Arcane Initiate to make it a 6. I want to spread it out. 6 versus a 4. Chaos Bag gives us. Okay, we get a free action. Let's do it again. Chaos Bag gives us a skull, which is a -2, and we succeed, and we do 4 points of damage. Okay, that's our go. Oh dear. Auto fail. Couldn't have come at a worse time. Enemy phase, we take some damage. So 2 and a 1. So David Renfield dies. Okay, he dies. But we also take a damage and a horror from the Night Gaunt. Okay. There's a reason why I killed David Renfield. Okay. Yes. So we move into the upkeep phase. We get a blinding light. Okay. Nice. We move into the Mythos phase. Now, there are now 4 Doom here. There is 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's not over. There's still 1 turn left. We've only got 7 Doom down on the table. So we've got 1 turn left. Let's see what the encounter deck has. And the encounter deck has a locked door on the location with the most clues. Well, there's 2 locations with the most clues. I'm going to put it on north side. So to the back. So we will move into the investigation phase. There are 3 actions onto Marie. So we really have only 1 chance left here. There's really very little we can do. We might just be able to pull it off, but it's a do or die, really. So first action, we are going to, this is crazy, but anyway, we're going to spend 2, and we're going to play David Renfield, which means we take an attack of opportunity, we take 3 damage and 2 horror. So 3 damage. Two horror. So we're literally nearly dead. And then, so we've done that. We're going to exhaust David Renfield and put a Doom on him. Okay. Why are we doing that? Oh, if he has a Doom on him, you get +1 willpower. So that pushes our willpower to 5. And then we are going to, second action, we are going to shrivel. We are going to shrivel the Masked Hunter. So what are we talking about here? We are a 4, we are a 5, we're a 6 versus a 4. So we need to get a -2 or better to succeed. Yep, we'll go ahead and shrivel the Masked Hunter. Chaos Bag gives us a -2, so we succeed. Isn't that right? 4, 5, 6, -2 is 4. So we do 2 more points of damage. And indeed, the Masked Hunter goes down, and the crowd goes absolutely wild. I can't believe that worked. Oh my goodness, talk about... Oh boy. We've got 1 action left. Now, if we could try and evade the Hunting Night Gaunt. If we manage to evade the Hunting Night Gaunt, then we could go and get Victoria Devereaux. If we fail to evade the Hunting Night Gaunt, then we are going down so it's either, or we could resign right now with what we've got, or we could try and evade. It'd be a 1 versus a 3. If we fail, we will take a physical trauma, but I guess, that's not the end of the world, because there's an opportunity for us to get Victoria Devereaux, because at the moment there are 5 doom down on the table. So there's still, because next time will be 6 doom down on the table, so there would still be some time. Oh no, sorry, 7 doom. Sorry, there's 4, 5, 6. There's 6 doom down on the table, then there'll be 7 doom down. So we'll have 1 turn to either pop up Victoria Devereaux and resign. So I think it's worth it, because what have we got to lose? We'd just go away with the physical trauma. So let's go ahead. We can't do anything. We're just a 1 versus a 3. So our final action, we will evade the Hunting Night Gaunt. Chaos Bag gives us 0, and we succeed. Oh my goodness, I can't believe this. So we succeed in evading, but then again, I've just realized we're going to have to evade again next time. So we will move into the enemy phase. There are enemies, but they're not doing anything. So then we will move into the upkeep phase, and we draw a card. We get Arcane Studies. Okay. So then we will move into the Mythos phase. I don't know why it's not putting it doesn't matter. We'll put the Doom down. So there's now 5 Doom here. So there's now 5, 6, 7 Doom. There's literally, and this, David Renfield should have unexhausted. So there we go. So 5, 6, 7. So let's see what the encounter deck has for us. And the encounter deck has a Hunting Shadow. You must either spend a clue or take 2 damage. Spend a clue or take 2 damage. We have no clues to spend. We take 2 damage. And that means we take a physical trauma, and that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Oh dear, what a way to end. We could have gotten one more. That would have been back on us as well. We could have gotten ourselves one more cultist, but it wasn't to be. But we ended up pretty good. We ended up pretty good in the end. We ended up with 2, 3, 4 victory points. So that was a pretty good way to finish. It was very frustrating, though, because things were going really well at the beginning, but they kind of just spiraled out of control, and just too much doom and too much carrying on. So there we go. So thank you very much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Now, next time, we will be taking... Who will be taking through next time? I'm just thinking... We did Marie Lambeau. Next time, we'll be taking Preston Fairmont through the Midnight Masks. I'm a big fan of Preston. I played him in a campaign with the Circle Undone, and once you get used to playing him, particularly as a Dark Horse Preston, he's great and he's a lot of fun. So I'm very much looking forward to taking Preston Fairmont through the Midnight Masks, and we will see how he goes. But until then, I'm Krabby Terror 8. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.